Welcome back everybody to Forza Horizon 4, doing another seasonal championship, this one Hyperspace Express, where we're in hypercars in I think it's S1 class or S2, one or the other, I can't remember which way around they are. But yeah, gonna have plenty of power on the go and speed in these cars. So yeah, let's see the kind of cars that we're going to get to choose from as we come up in this Lexus ISF, which I really rather like. So yeah, S2 class, that's the highest class that we race in, though obviously you can get cars in X class if you upgrade them enough.
I think you'll enjoy this one. What am I saying? Of course you will.
So obviously we've got a pair of Bugattis, the Veyron Supersport and the Chiron, a pair of Ferraris, the F12 TDF, which I really rather like, and another Ferrari. Venom GT from Hennessy, we've got 4 Coins X to choose from, including the really rather mental Regera. And yeah, we've got 5 Lamborghinis, only 4 of them are actual Lamborghinis, where this is the Forza Edition version. Then we've got the Lego Speed Champions car, which we won't be using, because, yeah, it's a fun thing to have, but they're not proper cars. Then we've got 4 McLarens, a pair of Paganis, a Porsche, a W Motors, and a Zenvo TSR S. I think we'll go for the F12 TDF to start with, because, like I said, it is one of my favourite Ferraris. Certainly one of my favourite modern hypercars, supercars, whichever way you want to categorize it, but I think anything with more than 700 horsepower is a hypercar in a lot of ways, even if it is a front engine car like this. So as you can see, I have my pumpkin head and skeleton costume on, because obviously it is the spooky season. We'll be doing a video on Halloween with that costume and a certain car, so don't miss out on that. It should be pretty fun. Yeah, let's see what this Ferrari can do. Obviously dynamically, in terms of having the engine up front, it's probably not quite as good as some of these mid-engine cars, but I find this to be really a great car in terms of handling and what it can do in terms of precision. For a nearly 800 horsepower rear-wheel drive car that has the engine up front, it's remarkably controlled. But control does not necessarily eliminate my mistakes or mean that I'm going to win. It's an incredibly loud car though, with that massive V12 engine. Moving up to nearly 9,000 RPM, which, yeah, makes this a ferocious vehicle. Yeah, they're nudging 190 there. For whatever reason, we don't seem to be able to be catching up right now. Well, the Hennessy is not all that great in terms of handling. It's got all of the power in the world, but handling wise it's not quite as good. I thought we were going to miss that for them, but unfortunately we did not. Get around the Hennessy. Oh dear. Got completely wrong that corner there. Yeah, as precise as this car is, like I said, it does not eliminate any mistakes I make or anyone else does. Oh dear. I swear I am better at driving this car than I look like I am. These street scene races that really put me off at times because of obviously the AI traffic are on the driving line a lot of the time. Even if they're not, you've got that in the back of your mind thinking that they're going to be. Well, that's a lonely 7th position there. Just don't think we were able to get up and go in terms of progressing through the through the pack there. So another F12 TDF beat us by just exactly half a second ahead. A pair of Aventadors, well, 3 Aventadors from from 2 different years, then a Chiron and then a Centenario. I think the Centenario was probably one of the better handling cars on this championship, and to be fair, we are on the lower end of the class. Though I don't know how the Noble and the ST1 are in here because they're only S1, but as well as the Aventador from 2012 as well. That's weird, but yeah, I just don't think we had the get up and go of some of these other cars that had a bit more in the way of power, or at least had a bit more in terms of the way of all-wheel drive. Because outside of the other F12, every one of the other cars had all-wheel drive and have the same or more power. So yeah, a bit unfortunate, but nonetheless, let's get on to the second race. So not a particularly great placing there in that first race with 7th place and obviously only 6 points. So yeah, we've got a lot of groundwork to make up there. So I think we're going to have to go with something that's either all-wheel drive or at least has more power. So I am thinking maybe a Lamborghini. In all honesty, I know it's the predictable thing to go for, but in all honesty, I think we need something that's got a bit more get up and go than the Ferrari had, because these have all-wheel drive, and as you can see, tend to have really rather great launch. When you look at the launch of the Ferrari, and it's only 8.9, which is good for a rear-wheel drive car with nearly 800 horsepower. But as you can see, these have 10 in terms of launch. So yeah, I think that would really help in terms of giving us a good start. The only real question is which car to choose from. Obviously the Veneo is pretty damn great in terms of handling, acceleration, launch and braking, but it only has 740 horsepower, whereas the Centenario has more horsepower but slightly less in the way of, more in the way of weight. So to be honest, I've had a lot of good races with the Centenario, either in my own time or in previous videos, so yeah, I think we'll go with the Centenario. See what it can do. And to be fair, it did come first place in the previous race, so yeah, it should hopefully prove to be a good car. At least I hope it does, because like I said, we've got a lot of ground to make up on the points. And now we're illuminated because we're in the dark. That's what I like about the outfit that I've chosen for Halloween. And that's pretty terrifying to be getting chased by someone looking like that. It's like a horror film. Speaking of which, I have watched so many horror films over October this month, because yeah, I pretty much consider the entirety of October to be Halloween season, which I'm sure many other people do as well. So yeah, I've been watching a single horror film at least once a day. And yeah, seen plenty of bad ones, either intentionally or otherwise. But also seen a fair few good ones as well. We're in a better position to start with than we were before. Not got quite as much power as the Ferrari, it's about 10 horsepower down, but the all-wheel drive and the superb handling really do make up for it. Which isn't to say that the F12 TDF has poor handling, it's just that the all-wheel drive is makes it a far easier car to drive, and also means you can use that power more often. So it's not going to get tripped up by any damp surfaces or anything like that. Well, it's better than last time, but not by a massive amount. We're only 2 places up where we were before. So yeah, we're going to get more points than we did last time, but it's not going to make much of a difference in terms of our placing, only a single position up. So yeah, we're not doing all that well here. It seems that these far faster, far more powerful vehicles aren't suitable to me, to be honest. In slower cars and in more unusual cars, I tend to do better than this, but yeah, anything that's supercar, hypercar quick or racing like just doesn't seem to work for me for whatever reason. But nonetheless, we'll get on to the third race and see what we can do, and hopefully we'll at least be able to get in the top 3, even though that wouldn't make much of a difference in terms of winning the championship, but at least it will be a bit of a you know, a make up for the fact that we're currently only in 6th place. So yeah, nonetheless, let's get on to the third and final race. So this championship isn't going all that well, but then again, I've never once claimed that these episodes are me winning every race and every championship. I do these because it's fun, and yeah, we get to drive a varied amount of cars in each championship that we take part in. So yeah, not every time I'm going to win, and that's entirely fine. Learn from mistakes and yeah, move on from it. So yeah, if we're going to fail though on the championship overall, we're going to fail in style. So let's get in the Bugatti Chiron, which has a huge amount of power and torque, easily one of the most powerful vehicles on this game. Also has one of the largest engines on this game, as it's an 8 litre W16 quad turbocharged engine, which is ridiculous. But yeah, nonetheless, as you can see, handling and braking isn't spectacular, but acceleration and speed are way up there, and yeah, launch is also pretty good as well. So yeah, we should at least fly down the first part of the course that we're on, but whether or not we're going to keep up that pace, we'll have to see. Certainly prefer the look of it as well to the Veyron, which, although it's not remarkably different, it's practically the same in terms of a side profile, for instance. I do think it looks on the whole a little bit better. And I've certainly stepped up the game over the standard Veyron to this one. Out of the way, the big bruiser is coming through. Been a while since I've driven this. It's not my usual go-to, but like I said, if we're going to fail this championship, let's fail it in style and opulence and expense and power. Oh dear, oh, that went really, really badly. I was hoping we were going to be able to collect it up before the bridge that we're going to be going across came up. We really didn't. We really aren't. Yeah. Handling on this, like I said, isn't the best. It doesn't help that it weighs more than 4,000 pounds, which is verging on SUV territory. And yet it has nearly 1,500 horsepower, so yeah, stopping this thing is way harder than actually getting up to any kind of speed. When you get it right, you really do get it right. There's nothing that these cars are going to be able to cough up that's going to beat this in terms of straight line speed. Maybe I should have picked this to start with, because this is doing better than I expected. Also helps that because it weighs so much that any of the road furniture really isn't going to slow it down all that much. So gentle with this going into corners. Will step out on you and try and kill you. As many driving aids that this car has is in its real life version is still a 1,500 horsepower car. You cannot get away from that level of power, no matter how much technology and engineering you put into a vehicle. It's still a huge amount of power to be putting in a road car. The fact they're actually able to do this is a technical marvel in itself, never mind the fact that it's a car that can do much top speed as it can. I think it's like, what, 260, something like that. So it's still ridiculous. And we're doing 181 across the finish line. Finally get a win, but I think it's all to no avail really in the championship points overall. Oh, we won! Surprise! I did not expect that whatsoever, especially considering we got 7th and 5th in the previous 2 races. So yeah, a win there somehow pulling through. So yeah, never give up, even if you know the 2 previous races went poorly, because you never know, a winner in the final race can always bring it back for you, even though I really wasn't expecting it. So yeah, then there we go, the Chiron bringing it all back for us there, even though I really didn't expect it to. Nonetheless though, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.